Krishna, who descends from the spiritual world to this mundane world, interacts with others as if he were an ordinary human being. Although he is God, he appears to have a mother and father while playing as a cowherd boy in the village of Vrindavan. Krishna performs these pastimes to experience transcendental pleasure and attract suffering living entities back home to Godhead. Sudama, who was one of his childhood friends, was a Brahmin living as a spiritual guide. Lord Krishna and Sudama had been close childhood friends and classmates at Gurukul, where they received education under the guidance of Guru Sandipni. Although they eventually parted ways after their studies were completed, the bond of their divine friendship remained unbroken in their hearts. Sudama was also a householder, but he didn't accumulate wealth for his own pleasure. He accepted whatever income he received without difficulty and devoted his time in serving God. Despite appearing poor on the outside, as he couldn't afford rich clothing or provide enough food for his wife, he was saintly and learned. Sudama's wife suggested that he visit Krishna, the king of Yadus, in Dwarka, knowing that Krishna would help him. Although she didn't speak out of personal anxiety, she felt concerned for her husband's living standards. Sudama initially thought that he didn't need to ask for material benefits, but he realized that he could meet Krishna once again, and this would be an opportunity of a lifetime. His wife prepared chipped rice as a gift, and Sudama started for Dwarka with it. As a devotee, Sudama was absorbed in thoughts of Krishna as he made his way to the palace. The palace was guarded, and only recognized people were allowed to enter. Upon arriving at the gates of Krishna's palace, Sudama requested the gatekeepers to allow him inside so that he could meet with Lord Krishna, his childhood friend. Despite his ragged appearance, Sudama insisted on seeing Krishna, who was now the king of Dwarka. Although the gatekeepers initially dismissed Sudama, considering him to be insane, he persisted in his request. After repeated requests, the gatekeepers finally relayed Sudama's message to Krishna. Upon hearing that his old friend had come to see him, Krishna immediately ran to the gate to greet Sudama. Without any concern for Sudama's impoverished appearance, Krishna embraced him warmly and held him for a long time, overjoyed to be reunited with his friend. Sudama passed through 3 military camps and many gates before he finally reached Krishna's residential quarters. The behavior of Krishna towards Sudama surprised the women attendants of the palace, who believed that Krishna only showed such affection towards his queen Rukmini and his brother Balaram. Krishna welcomed Sudama in many ways, offering him food and drink and saying, "My dear friend, it is great fortune that you have come here." Seating Sudama on his own cushioned bed, Krishna treated him as a dear friend and washed his feet. Although Krishna is the source of all life and is the supreme pure, he acted as if he was purified by the water used to wash Sudama's feet. Krishna praised him for his lack of attachment to materialistic desires. Krishna reminisced about their shared past when they were both under the guidance of their spiritual master and expressed great gratitude for the knowledge they had received during that time. Sudama sat face to face with the Supreme Lord, who resides in every heart. He was delighted to hear about a particular adventure that he and Krishna shared during their student days. Krishna reminisced, "My friend, do you recall the time when we were living as students and were instructed by our guru's wife to gather wood from the forest? As we were collecting wood, we got lost in the dense forest due to an unexpected dust storm, followed by clouds, lightning, and thunder. Eventually, it became dark and we were unable to find our way out. Later, there was heavy rainfall, which caused the entire area to flood. We were unable to locate our guru's home due to the storm's devastation. We were in great pain and confused about which way to go. In our distressed state, we held each other's hands and tried to find a way out. We spent the entire night in the jungle. The following morning, our guru noticed our absence and sent his other disciples to look for us. When they found us, we were in a state of great distress. Our Guru showed great compassion and said, "My dear boys, it is truly remarkable that you have endured so much hardship for my sake. Usually, people prioritize taking care of their own bodies, but you are faithful and virtuous students who have endured such difficulty for me. It brings me great joy to see that true students like you are willing to go through any challenge for the sake of the spiritual master. This is the way a true disciple can pay back his debt to the spiritual master. It is the duty of the disciple to devote his life to serving the spiritual master. My dear blessed ones, I am extremely pleased with your actions and I bless you. May all your aspirations and ambitions come true. May you always remember and retain the knowledge of the scriptures that you have learned from me so that you can recall their teachings at any moment without difficulty. Thus, you will never be disappointed in this life or the next." Krishna continued, "My friend, you may remember that many such incidents occurred while we were in our spiritual master's house. Both of us realized that without the spiritual master's blessings, one cannot be truly happy. Through the spiritual master's mercy and blessings, one can achieve peace, prosperity, and fulfill the mission of human life." Sudama understood that Krishna is the supreme controller of both material and spiritual worlds, and had played the role of a student and now the king of Dwarka for his transcendental pleasure. The pure devotee may not know everything about the Lord, but relishes hearing about his pastimes. Through devotional service and hearing from bona fide authority, the devotee gains knowledge of God and the spiritual kingdom is revealed to them from within their heart. Lord Krishna and his friend Sudama talked for a long time. Eventually, Krishna asked Sudama if he brought anything for him. Sudama hesitated to bring forth the chipped rice his wife had sent with him due to shyness. However, Krishna accepted the offering given in love. Although Sudama thought that the offering was insignificant, Krishna knew that Sudama's love for him was pure and not tainted by material desires. Krishna then decided to reward Sudama in a lavish manner. He exclaimed how pleased he was to receive such palatable chipped rice and that it would please the entire creation. The statement suggests that Krishna is the root of the entire creation, and an offering or action done for him is considered the highest welfare work that benefits everyone in the creation. Lord Krishna ate a morsel of rice, but when he was about to put the second morsel in his mouth, Rukmini stopped him, stating that the one piece of rice that Krishna had already eaten would make Sudama wealthy in this life and the next. Sudama did not ask for anything and was lost in an ocean of transcendental bliss. The next morning he left, absorbed in memories of his meeting with his friend. While heading back home, Sudama was overwhelmed with memories of Krishna treating him with great respect and love. Upon reaching his village, Sudama saw that his old cottage had transformed into a magnificent palace surrounded by parks, lakes, and gardens full of exotic birds and flowers. His wife, who looked like a goddess, greeted him and took him inside the opulent palace, which was fit for a heavenly king, with jeweled columns and rich canopies. Sudama was surprised and grateful for the divine blessings he had received from Lord Krishna. Sudama was amazed by the transformation of his modest cottage into a grand palace filled with opulence and beauty. Unable to fathom the cause of this sudden change, he realized that it was a result of Lord Krishna's boundless mercy upon him. Sudama realized that the Lord valued his small offering of a handful of chipped rice, given with devotion, and had bestowed upon him wealth more magnificent than any found on earth or even in the abodes of the demigods. He was grateful and prayed to the Lord, not for wealth or riches, but for the ability to offer eternal service to him. He acknowledged that any opulence he received should be used for the service of the Lord and accepted everything as his divine grace.